Today's class, we will discuss world climatic regions, or you can call it world climatic zones or types, right? Wherever they are found in different zones of the world. Like there could be equatorial climatic zone between the 10° north and 10° south of the equator. So in that particular zone, there is a type of climate that is called hot, wet equatorial climate, right? Hot, wet equatorial climate. And as we have discussed in geography of India, that climate, soils, and vegetation or forests, they are related with each other. In the same way, we will discuss in the reference of whole world, the climatic type, their soil, and their forest. We will study three of them together. Okay. So, like in equatorial forest, you know, equatorial forest, where it will be found in equatorial zone or region, and in that particular zone there will be climatic type of hot wet nature. Means throughout the year there will be high temperature and high precipitation both. And there will be a uniformity of temperature will be high and will be uniform throughout the year. Means the annual range is not so much there, is not so much high. Means throughout the year there will be temperature around 27 degrees centigrade, around 24 to 27 degrees centigrade. Means the range is not much more, right? And the soil type there will be, what is the soil type there? Latosol. Like with reference to India, we have studied that the soil type in the dense forest regions is of laterite variety. Mostly it is laterite type, lateritic soil. So in the same way, in world climatic regions, these particular soils are called latosols. Means latosols and laterite both are the same. With reference to India, we call them particularly laterite soils, right? In equatorial climatic zone, where there are dense forests, they are known as latosols, right? In the same way, like we go in the taiga climatic region. Like equatorial climatic region is very hot, taiga climatic region is very cool. In that particular climatic region, there is a peculiar type of soil known as podjol. It is like in equatorial climate, this soil type is latosol, right? In taiga climate, it is also called boreal climate. The soil type is podjol, right? This is a very particular type of soil found around the 66° north and above. And in those tundra regions, which are higher in latitudes, above those taiga region, there is the same type of soil in tundra type climate. In tundra climatic region, the soil is tundra. The name of the soil is also tundra with the same name, right? So the climate and the soil both are like the same. And because you know that a particular vegetation or forest is decided by two main factors, climate and soil. So likewise in equatorial climate, the forest type will be, it is called equatorial rainforests, right? The forest or equatorial rainforest. Here in Taiga climatic region, this forest name is boreal forests. Here, tundra vegetation with the same name. So we'll study all of them together. The climatic type, their forest types, if some of the peculiar tree species are there, and what is the soil there, the soil type, right? In this particular section, questions are asked in a very factual manner. They provide you a paragraph, they write down some of the characteristics of a particular climatic region or vegetation, and then they ask you that which of the following is the correct climatic region in which these characteristic features are found. So, our style of study here should be somewhat factual, means you will write down the characteristic features of each and every climatic zones, so that ऐसा ना हो कि कोई एक छोटा सा कोई फैक्ट पूछ ले यूपीएससी, इवन इफ यू नो ऑल ऑफ द फैक्ट्स अबाउट दैट, फिर भी कोई स्किप कर जाए बिकॉज आप ज्यादा फोकस कर रहे थे कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्डिंग में, बट इस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन से कॉन्सेप्ट तो होता है, लाइक आपको अगर ये पता है कि इन इक्वेटोरियल क्लाइमेटिक रीजन there is always heavy rainfall. Because of heavy rainfall, leaching will be there, and feature is given there that the soil here in this climate, the soil is it is very poor in nutrition, it is not so fertile, it is poor in humus. So I've already discussed that the soil in the dense forest region where there is heavy precipitation due to leaching, humus and all the nutrients, they go down to the lower horizons, to the lower layers. That is why in the upper layers there is very deficiency of nutrients. That is why the roots of the trees, they are of buttressed nature. They are wide enough so as to attain the minerals as soon as they are released in the soil. So that is the concept. But sometimes what happens that कि आप इतना, एक तो एग्जाम का जो होता है कि टाइम बाउंड मैनर में है ना, आप कई बार उसको कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते हो, तो बेटर वुड बी टू नोट डाउन दी ऑल द पेक्यूलियर फीचर्स, आप थोड़ा सा उसे सो दैट यू कैन रिवाइज इट, मेमोराइज इट, राइट? सो just note down. First, I will show to you this schematic diagram. Like this is an ideal continent, you can say. An ideal continent with a uniform nature. This is 0 degree equator, then this is 10 degree, then 30 degree. We are in the northern hemisphere. Okay, the same pattern will be in the southern hemisphere. Then this is 60 degree. World climatic zones are divided in this manner. In this zone, between 10 degree north and 10 degree south, in this zone, there is, it is called equatorial. Full name is hot, wet equatorial climate, right? Then between this zone, 10 degree to 30 degree, in the northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere. On the eastern side of a continent, means in this particular latitude and on the eastern side of a continent, there will be found monsoonal climate, right? Please make this diagram. Then in this in the same latitude, in the same zone, and in the middle of the continent. This is called savanna. The climate name is savanna. Then on the western side of the continent, it is called hot deserts. Right? ड्रॉ नहीं कर रहे, लेजी नहीं करना है, ठीक है, डोंट बी लेजी, बनाओ इसे, गुड, ठीक है. Then in this latitude 30 degree to 45 degree, this is called equatorial climatic zone. This is called tropical climatic zone. Means this whole belt is known as tropical climatic zone. This whole belt is equatorial climatic zone. This whole belt is warm temperate. This whole belt is cool temperate. Right? This whole belt is warm temperate because it is nearer to equator. Then it is cool temperate. This particular zone is known as China type. China type climate. It is also called Natal type. It is also called Gulf type. Natal is the region in South Africa. So in the South African part, it is known as Natal type, Natal. The same type of climate is found in and around the Gulf of Mexico. There it is known as Gulf type climate, right? The same type of climate is found. Means here you can see that in this particular zone on the eastern side of the continent, you know that China type climate is also found on the eastern side of the continent. Gulf type means nearby Mexico, Gulf of Mexico on the eastern side. It is also on the eastern side of North American continent and almost middle of the continent in this latitude. The same type of climate is found in South Africa, and that is also on the eastern side of South Africa. Right? So this will be found on the eastern side. In the same latitude, on the western side, there will be found Mediterranean climate. Right? Mediterranean climate. In and around California in USA, you know that California is on the western side. The latitude is the same. Gulf of California and Gulf of Mexico, both are on the same zone. We have also discussed this fact in currents, salinity, currents, those factors. They were on the same zone. Yeah. So on the eastern side, the climate is called Gulf type. On the western side, the climate is called Mediterranean type. And on the in the middle, this zone, this is known as steppe. In American continent, it is known as prairie. In America, it is known as prairie. Now come to this zone. On this side, in this particular zone, Laurentian type. It is called Laurentian type. There is a land, a segment of land in this part of North American continent. You know that land is known as Laurentia. So means about northeastern part of North American continent. In Canada, the land is known as Laurentia. So with the same name, Laurentian type climate in North America, and the same type of climate is found in the northeastern tip of Russia, in the same zone. Got it? So the climatic type is known as Laurentian type. And in the middle part, this is known as Siberian type, also known as taiga. Taiga forest. In the region of Russia, it is known as Siberian type. There, on the other hand, in Canada, it is known as normally taiga forest, taiga climate. The forest type is technically known as boreal forest, boreal forest. They are also known as taiga forest, but boreal forest. On this side, British type. Means on the eastern side, it is known as Laurentian type. On the western side, it is known as British type. Right? Because they are so high in latitudes, they normally do not have their counterparts in southern hemisphere, because on those latitudes there is no land there. That is why they don't have their counterparts in southern. This can also be asked in a statement. And this land above 60° up to the poles, this is known as tundra. This is tundra climatic region. So all in all, there are 11 in numbers climatic types. In each climatic type, we will note down some of the features regarding their climates, regarding their forest or vegetation type, regarding their soil type, right? And some other important features, like if there is any tribe, what is their activity, what is the type of cultivation there, after clearing of those forests. Like in this China type climate, that most of the China type forests, they are technically known as warm wet forests. In China type climate, the forest type is known as warm wet forests. And in the current scenario, most of the warm wet forests have been cleared, and in their places, now they are growing wet paddy. Paddy farming is there. In the same way, in this climatic zone, this is the land of temperate grasslands. Steppes are known, historically are known for they are known for temperate grasslands. This is the land of tropical grassland. This is the land of temperate grassland, right? So the vegetation type is here largely grasslands. Though some of the sparse vegetation, sparse forests are there, they are known as savanna woodland. Woodland is a type of open forest. Means the distance between the trees is so far and wide. It is known as open forests. Woodland. Technically, woodland means an open forest in which the density of the vegetation is far less. Right? So, savanna land, this is almost preserved, because you know that most of the savanna land lies in Africa. And because of the very slow developmental process, they have not been cleared. So, development, you can say that it is an adversary of vegetation, environment generally. Because if there would have been the same level of development in Africa, these parklands would have been cleared, and in their places they would have grown some other type of crops. Though it is also a fact that the land is not so much fertile, because largely it can grow grasses. It is not so much humid also. That is why the grasslands there, they are not so soft type grasses. They are hard grasses, in which only those species, those herbivorous species which are found in African regions, like giraffe, like gazelle, like wildebeest. Those are some specific species found there, and there are some predators. So largely, it is this land is known as the land of big games. Big games. Predators. So one by one, we'll study them. First, write down hot, wet equatorial climate. Hot, wet equatorial zone, right? So what is the particular climatic feature here? Note down. Uniformly high temperature throughout the year. Uniformly high temperature throughout the year, around 24 to 27 degrees centigrade. High precipitation, high rainfall, you can say. More than 250 centimeter, right? One more peculiar characteristic of rainfall is double rainfall peaks coinciding with equinoxes. What do you mean by that? Double rainfall peaks coinciding with equinoxes. In March, in mid of March and mid of September, around 22nd March and 23rd September, the duration of the day and night are the same. They are called equinox, right? So during those periods, if you draw the diagram of the rainfall, means if you measure it throughout the year, the highest rainfall occurs around equinoxes. That is why it is called double rainfall peaks coinciding with equinoxes. Means in the mid of September and in the mid of March, these climatic zones receive most of the rainfall. Though rainfall is high throughout the year, but particularly in 2 months, mid of March and mid of September, they will receive the highest amount of rainfall, right? So this is a peculiar characteristic of this climatic zone. Mostly rainfall occurs in the afternoons in convectional manner. You know, here most of the rainfall will be of the type of convectional type. So rainfall occurs because what happens that after the sunrise, convection starts and it becomes very high in the afternoon period. And because of that very high convection, precipitation starts in the afternoons. So this is the daily feature there. रोज ही ऐसा होता है कि सुबह सवेरा होता है, दोपहर तक भयंकर गर्मी हो जाती है, दोपहर के बाद बारिश शुरू हो जाती है, और फिर जब तक पूरा का पूरा वो कन्वेक्शनल पूरा सिस्टम खत्म नहीं हो जाता है, जब तक वो पूरा का पूरा मॉइस्चर रिलीज नहीं कर देते हैं क्लाउड्स. मोस्टली द क्लाउड टाइप इज cumulonimbus clouds. They are almost cumulonimbus clouds. So this was the features about climate. Now come to forests. Yeah, you can write down in a single line. Most of the clouds are cumulonimbus type. Okay. You can write down the type of soil there is latosol. Type of soil there is latosol. You know that latosol is a poor variety of soil. Because of high leaching, it has less humus and minerals. Because though minerals and humus are there, but they go down to lower layers. ये भी आपको याद रखना पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि वहां पे तो ह्यूमस के लिए बहुत ही फेवरेबल कंडीशंस हैं. It is hot and it is wet. Both are favorable for humus formation, but they are not found in the upper layers. They go down to the lower layers. That is why in the upper layer it is not so fertile. When we talk about the fertility of a soil, we talk about its हायर होराइजन्स, कि उसके ऊपर के होराइजन्स में जहां पर रूट्स होते हैं ट्रीज के, वहां पे कैसा है मिनरल्स या ह्यूमस। अगर वो नीचे के लेयर्स में, इट इज ऑफ नो यूज, कोई मतलब नहीं है उसका वहां पे। द रूट सिस्टम कैन नॉट गो दैट मच डीपर टू अटेन दैट। So latosols are there, the same type of soil as laterite in India. And the forest type is equatorial rainforest. Equatorial rainforests, they are mostly broadleaf hardwood forests. So they are not so useful for paper making. That is why these regions, they are not known for paper industries. Paper industries are mostly concentrated in softwood forest regions, like taiga, like conifers. Which of the varieties are softwood nature, which can be felled easily. The logs of the trees are normally uniform in nature. They are not so dense, right? In these dense, because they are very dense, they cannot be cleared easily, and their wood variety is very hard. That is not suitable for paper making. So a question may be asked that why these regions are not suitable for paper industries, though they have a lot of wood. But the reality is that now these regions are being cleared of these forests, and they are being replaced by like palm, like in Indonesia. Such type of forests are being cleared, and they are replacing it with palm oil. So you can write down this, that in Indonesia, these forests are now being cleared and replaced by palm plantation, especially in Indonesia. In these equatorial rainforests, there are many lianas. They are also called rattan, epiphytes, many types of lichens, mosses. Lianas or rattan, they are woody vines. Woody vines are technically known as lianas or rattan. So in these forests, in the trees, lianas, epiphytes, they grow there. Different type of ferns, orchids, they are the varieties of epiphytes. Okay, they can be asked in your exam. Lichens, mosses, ferns, orchids, they are epiphytes, right? And in Amazonian forests, in Amazon, such type of forests are mainly found in Amazon, Congo, and Indonesia. In Brazil and around Venezuela, they are known as, means in Amazon region, they are known as selvas, selva forests, selvas. They are also found in Congo, in and around Indonesia. Means their largest concentrations are in these three regions. Between 10° north and south, if you see the map, this land here in Africa, this land, and here, these are the islands of Indonesia. These three regions are largely covered by these forests. Other than that, most of the there is water surface, right? So this was all about equatorial climate. Now note down monsoonal climate. Monsoonal zone. In monsoonal type of climate, you know, that corresponds to India. There is reversal of winds in alternate seasons. Uh, Here also, the temperature is hot to moderate. When you talk about climate, you have to write about the temperature there. You have to write about the nature of rainfall there. Largely, these two topics should be covered, right? So, hot to moderate temperature, and the rainfall type is monsoonal. Monsoonal rainfall, it has 3 seasons. One is largely 3 seasons: winter, summer, and rainy season. In monsoonal type of climate, there are 3 seasons. Winters are dry, summers are largely dry, it is wet. Right? Though there might be some drizzles in winter, like in northern part of India, there might be some drizzles in summertime. They are called pre-monsoon showers. Some of the pre-monsoon showers. But largely, the rainfall is in these 4 months of rainy season, right? So these 3 seasons and reversal of winds, you know it. So this is the type of climate. Then type of forest there. Yeah, before that, write down type of soils. Soil is known as oxysol and alluvial. Mostly these 2 types of soils are there. Oxysols, they are rich in iron oxides. Oxysols are rich in iron oxide. Like red soils, right? And alluvial soils, and all the soils found in India. You can note down there. So soils are like that, and the forest type is tropical. That was equatorial rainforest. It is tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforest. One type is this, and another type is, they are known as monsoonal forests. Tropical rainforests are evergreen in nature. They are evergreen in nature, and they are deciduous in nature. We have studied them. Tropical rainforests, they are found in Western Ghats, in northeastern India, and some of the forests which are found in less rainier parts adjoining these areas, means adjoining these lands in the less rainier parts. Such type of forest means they would receive less amount of rainfall, and in the drier season they will leave their leaves. So that is why they are called deciduous. उनके पत्ते गिर जाते हैं ड्राई सीजन में. So to withstand that dry season, they become, so monsoonal forest means deciduous forest. This is another name for deciduous variety found in monsoonal climate, right? So monsoonal or deciduous, they both are the same, right? Such type of forests are also being cleared, you know, that in India or in Myanmar, and other adjoining areas where monsoon is in the northern part of Australia also. So in these regions, they have now been cleared because they are the lands of, you can say, the developing lands, developing countries. They are increasing their areas for other purposes, like settlement purposes, like industrial purposes. That is why they are clearing their forests, and they are being replaced by secondary type of vegetation. This secondary type of vegetation or secondary forest is technically known as jungle, right? That is why in India we find jungles. आप कभी गए हो, गांव में गए हो, वहां पे जंगल होते हैं, वहां पे फॉरेस्ट नहीं होते हैं. In and around your villages, you will find jungles. These jungles are now, they are secondary type of forest. They are not primeval forest, you can say, primary vegetation. First they have been cleared, then later on, after many years, they have regrown. So that is the regrowth of those original forests. They are secondary type of vegetation known as jungle. ये जो जंगल टर्म है ना, ये बहुत स्पेसिफिक है. जंगल्स ये सभी जगह नहीं पाए जाते हैं. मोस्टली हम लोग जो मॉनसूनल लैंड्स में जो सेकेंडरी टाइप ऑफ वेजिटेशन है उसके लिए जंगल वर्ड यूज करते हैं. यू कैन से कि ये हिंदी भी है, इंग्लिश भी है, दोनों में सेम टाइप यूज होता है. So now come to third one, savanna climatic zone. Savanna climate. In this climate, there is alternate wet, dry climate or seasons, you can say. There are alternate spells of wet and dry. Means in half of the year they are wet, and when wet? During summer season. During winter they are dry. Right? Means most of the rainfall occurs in समर सीजन. वेट ड्राई स्पेल का मतलब ये हुआ कि पूरे ईयर में दो ही सीजन है, समर एंड विंटर, एंड ड्यूरिंग विंटर ऑल द रेनफॉल दैट अकर्स इज ड्यूरिंग विंटर, ड्यूरिंग समर. मींस इन दीज 6 months they receive their all the precipitation, and in this part they become dry during winters. So this type of climate is more suitable for grasslands. That is why they are grasslands. Grasses can easily grow if rainfall occurs in summer. If rainfall occurs in winter, there will be less development of grasses. Means there that is why the region of Mediterranean climate, that is also a two type of season throughout the year, but there most of the rainfall occurs in winter. That is why you will not find grasslands in Mediterranean type of climate. Grasslands they are important for cattle ranching, right? There is a variety of agriculture, you can say. Agriculture is of two types: crop growing and animal husbandry. Agriculture is largely of two types. You can also say that it is of three types. Third one is fisheries, pisciculture, right? This is also a type of culture. और इस तरीके से तो फिर बहुत सारा हो जाएगा, ठीक है, बहुत सारे कल्चर से. But largely they are of two types, in which you grow the crops, that is crop growing, and in another that you feed the animals with grasses. Means you grow the grasses or you grow the fodder and you feed the animal. That is known as animal husbandry. Technically, if it becomes like a business, it is called animal ranching, right? Means if it is of subsistence variety only, just for own consumption, it is known as animal husbandry. But if the animal husbandry is done for more commercial purpose, means you do it for your own consumption as well as for export purposes, means you do it in large scale. In that situation, it is called animal ranching or cattle ranching. Largely, cattle farming is there. Like in Denmark, you can say there are large farmhouses in which dairy animals are kept. Their milk products, then they are Not only means that is a type of vegetarian diet. There is another type of cattle ranching, like in Argentina, like in Brazil. What they do? They have slaughterhouses, large slaughterhouses. They do slaughtering of the cattle. Then they do the packaging of those meat parts and they export it. This is also a type of cattle ranching only. Whether it is being run for dairy products or it is run for meat packaging industry, right? So agriculture and those industries, they are related with each other and they are based on a particular type of climate and on a particular type of soil, right? So why those tropical grasslands are not a good hub for animal ranching? There are two types of grasslands: tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands. Tropical grasslands, they have coarse grasses. They have coarse grasses. These savanna lands, these grasses are coarse in nature. Coarse grasses. They can be digested only by jungle animals, forest animals, right? जो जंगली जानवर हैं, जैसे जिराफ है, जैसे हाथी है, केवल वही इसे डाइजेस्ट कर सकते हैं, कोर्स ग्रास को. Not, it is not suitable for normal cattle, your pet animals. कैटल भी वहां पर होंगे तो दूसरे वैरायटी के होंगे. दे आर विल्ड बीस्ट, दे आर वेरी, उनके बाइसेप्स ट्राइसेप्स एकदम बने हुए हैं, समझ रहे हैं? वो आराम से कर लेंगे, इसको डाइजेस्ट कर लेंगे. बट दोज एनिमल्स who are kept in farmhouses, they cannot easily digest it. So that is why this is a grassland but not suitable for cattle ranching. Cattle ranching that is why concentrated in temperate grasslands, because temperate grasslands have soft grasses that is suitable for cattle feeding, right? They are conceptual parts actually. If they ask some questions in a conceptual manner so that you can understand it. Right. So in the form of, so if you say what is the vegetation there? So vegetation is largely grasslands and savanna woodland. This particular word woodland is especially used regarding savanna. Open forest, widely spaced trees interspersed with coarse grasses, right? डिस्कवरी में कभी देखा होगा, नेट जू में, मोस्टली दे शूट देयर फिल्म्स इन मसाई मारा नेशनल पार्क. इट इज इन एंड अराउंड केन्या इन तंजानिया, मसाई मारा. तो वो पूरा का पूरा जो पूरा रीजन है, दैट इज नोन एज सवाना. सवाना इज टेक्निकली दैट रीजन. हियर सम ऑफ द deciduous trees are found. Deciduous trees, उनके नाम लिख लीजिए, नोट डाउन द नेम्स. Baobab, bottle tree, actually they store their water in their trunks, right? Baobab and bottle trees, they are found in savanna lands. Acacia is also there, a type of babool. Such things can be asked. They can write down a paragraph that in these lands baobab or bottle trees are found. They have open forests. They have alternate spells of wet and dry seasons. Now which of the following is the climatic region? You can easily comprehend them, right? आपको उन सारे चीजों से पकड़ना पड़ेगा. Every year they ask 1 or 2 questions from this part, not more than that. But if you understand the whole topic of climatic region, you can solve at least 2 to 3 more questions. आपसे अगर वो फॉरेस्ट के बारे में भी एक दो क्वेश्चन आएगा ही आएगा, एनवायरमेंट में सॉइल के बारे में आएगा ही आएगा। तो ये टॉपिक आपको पूरे एनवायरमेंट पोर्शन में हेल्प करेगा इफ यू कॉम्प्रहेंड इट, है ना, एक इंटीग्रेटेड मैनर में, राइट। फर्दर राइट डाउन, there are some cattle pastoralists there. Cattle pastoralists there. Cattle pasto, especially in Africa. Who are pastoralists? Who do animal ranching or animal husbandry. Ranching word is more specific to commercial part, commercial venture, right? So the people whose economy is dependent upon animal husbandry, they are known as pastoralists. So these, some of the tribal groups are there, tribals, they are known as Masai. इन्हीं के नाम पे वो जो नेशनल पार्क है उसका नाम है मसाई मारा नेशनल. There is a river known as Mara, and this is the land of Masai. That is why it is known as Masai Mara. A small river flows there. So these Masais, they are special tribal groups there who live in these savanna lands. What they do? They have cattle as their pet animals, but they are not so kind. ऐसा नहीं है कि उसका दूध निकाल के पी जाते हैं, ये उसका खून निकालते हैं. They drink bloods of cattle. Very dangerous people. What they do? They bind they tie their necks. एक ले लेते हैं रस्सी, उससे बांध देते हैं. When they are those वो उनका सब सोलन हो जाता है, उनका पूरा का पूरा वेन्स, तो वेन्स सोलन हो जाते हैं, तो उनमें समझ में आ गया कि अभी तक पूरा ब्लड स्टोर हो गया है, तो एक बड़ा सा अपना इंजेक्शन लेके आते हैं, उससे निकालते हैं ना ग्लास भरते हैं, इजी, हाँ, कोई जूस उसका जरूरत नहीं है अलग से. दे ड्रिंक ओनली ब्लड्स ऑफ एनिमल्स. तो ऐसे लोग भी स्टिल दे आर देयर. तो दे आर वेरी, मतलब वो उनका वहां के कंजर्वेशन में दे हैव देयर रोल, बिकॉज दे डू नॉट हार्म अदर एनिमल्स. कुछ नहीं करते हैं दूसरे को, है ना, मारते नहीं है किसी को, और वो उस पूरे फॉरेस्ट को, जो भी उनका ओपन गुड फॉरेस्ट है, उसको वो कंजर्व करके रखते हैं. तो दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर देयर. अभी इंडिया में भी यही चल रहा है कि wherever you will find tribals, the lands are rather protected, rather they are conserved, because they are their homes. Yeah, they do not have such building structures. वो तो वहीं रहते हैं. If they cut down their own homes, where would they go? वो सब कहाँ पे अपना कैसे ब्लड आउट पिए? That is their need. तो वो उनका वही चला आ रहा है, मतलब जनरेशन से. तो that is why they can be asked cattle pastoralist. And there are another type of settled cultivators also. Those settled cultivators are Hausa people. They are Hausa. They are in and around Kenya, Tanzania. Those settled cultivators there. They are pastoralists, dependent upon animal husbandry. They are cultivators, they grow crops. They are Hausa. They mostly live in Nigeria. There is a plateau named as Bauchi Plateau. एक प्लेटो है वहां पे नाइजीरिया में, तो उस प्लेटो के आसपास ये इर्द गिर्द रहते हैं, these Hausa people, and they do their settled cultivation. ये there is a stream of you can say that economy. कि previously जो उनके forefathers थे वो वहां पे जंगल में ऐसे ही they were hunters and food gatherers. Later on वो थोड़ा सा crop growing सीख गए. And because hunting and food gathering में क्या होता है कि you cannot be settled. क्योंकि अभी आपको यहाँ पे हंटिंग करना है, फिर कहीं आगे जाना है 10 किलोमीटर आगे, तो you cannot be a settled tribe. So if you want to be settled at one place, you'll have to shift to animal husbandry either or cultivation. आपको एक जगह रह के या तो आपको जानवर वगैरह पालना पड़ेगा या क्रॉप ग्रोइंग करना पड़ेगा. तो जो अपने जो प्रिमिटिव ट्राइब्स थे, दे वर हंटर्स एंड फूड गैदरर्स. दे डू वंडर ऑल अराउंड. तो वो तो अपना घूमते फिरते रहते थे, दूर दूर तक जाते थे. उनके पास कोई सेटल्ड कोई वैसे जगह नहीं थी कि जहां पे, दैट इज वाई उनका जो फैमिली का कॉन्सेप्ट था वो भी बहुत ही प्रिमवल था. लेटर ऑन जब वो एक जगह रहने लगे, देन फैमिली एंड ऑल दैट वो सब स्टार्ट हुआ कि नहीं नहीं ये फैमिली है, ये अलग ग्रुप है, ये अलग ग्रुप है, ये अलग ग्रुप है. वो इंटर मैरिजेस नहीं होंगे विद इन अ फैमिली. वो ऑल दिस थिंग्स, जो सोशियोलॉजी वाली जो थिंग्स है वो फिर लेटर ऑन स्टेज में स्टार्ट होते हैं, राइट. So in these savanna land there are two types of these. Then after savanna कौन सा था हमारा climatic region? Hot deserts. Yes, hot deserts. So in these hot deserts, you know that they are lying on the subtropical high pressure belts. Their location is on the subtropical high pressure belts. So I have already discussed that. What is its feature? How such type of hot deserts originated? क्या हुआ? What were the features? No, in this zone westerlies never flow. In this zone trade winds flow. And because they are found on the western part of the continents, trade winds, they are not onshore, they are offshore. Means अभी ये पूरा का पूरा एक कॉन्टिनेंट है. These lands are on this western part. यहां से एंटर कर रहे हैं. This is the coastal part. So on this part इधर क्या है? Monsoonal lands. On this parts, because of these trade winds, rainfall will occur. As they go into the interior parts, धीरे धीरे उनके rainfall कम होने लगेगा. इस part तक आते आते they will become dry. So they are, because they are offshore. Trade winds are offshore here. So this is one reason. Second reason, convectional type rainfall भी तो हो सकता है. They are more helpful in causing orographic type of rainfall. अगर कोई विंड ऐसे आके सरफेस से आ रही है तो वो orographic type of rainfall, जैसे कि इधर मानसूनल लैंड्स में मोस्टली होती है ना, उसके लिए ज्यादा हेल्पफुल है. बट जैसे यहाँ के लैंड में इंटीरियर पार्ट में, तो यहाँ पे सवाना में तो थोड़ी बहुत बारिश होती है. मैंने बताया कि अल्टरनेट वेट एंड ड्राई स्पेल्स चलते हैं, है ना. तो यहाँ कैसे होती है? दे आर कॉज्ड बाय कन्वेक्शनल फॉर्म. कन्वेक्शनल टाइप की होती है ना. लैंड इंटीरियर पार्ट है, गर्म हो गई होगा, गर्म हुआ तो हवाएं ऊपर उठेंगी एंड दे विल कॉज रेनफॉल. ऐसा इधर क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? दे आर द एडजॉइनिंग पार्ट्स. यहां पे भी तो कन्वेक्शनल टाइप रेनफॉल हो सकती है, बट क्यों नहीं होती है? बिकॉज दे आर लाइंग जस्ट बिलो द सबट्रॉपिकल हाई प्रेशर बेल्ट्स. एंड यू नो दैट सबट्रॉपिकल हाई प्रेशर बेल्ट्स, विंड्स आर ऑलवेज डिसेंडिंग. ये हाई प्रेशर बन कैसे रहा है इस बेल्ट में? ये हाई प्रेशर बन कैसे रहा है यहाँ पे? क्या हो गया यार? यहाँ पे हाई प्रेशर कैसे क्रिएट हो रहा है? बिकॉज विंड्स आर डिसेंडिंग. द विंड्स, यहां से जो विंड्स उठ रहे थे वो यहीं तो गिर रहे हैं आके. ये जो इक्वेटोरियल वाले पार्ट से जो भी विंड ऊपर जा रहे थे और ट्रोपोस्फेयर के लेवल पे जाके दो अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में, ये पूरा सेल क्या कहलाता है? हेडली सेल. दिस इज हेडली सेल. तो दे आर ऑन द डिसेंडिंग पार्ट ऑफ द हेडली सेल. ये मैंने डिस्कस किया था ना कि सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई प्रेशर बेल्ट्स वाले रीजन में हॉट डेजर्ट पाए जाते हैं. तो व्हाई आर दे देयर? दिस क्वेश्चन आल्सो हैज बीन आस्क्ड इन मेंस. ये मेंस में भी आ चुका है. हाउ हॉट डेजर्ट्स आर ओरिजिनेटेड? देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ डेजर्ट्स, कोल्ड डेजर्ट्स एंड हॉट डेजर्ट्स. हॉट डेजर्ट्स on this location and cold deserts on in mid latitude. They are called mid latitude deserts, around like Gobi in Mongolia, means on higher latitudes. They are cold deserts. इवन लद्दाख इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ कोल्ड डिजर्ट्स इन इंडियन, मतलब इंडिया के हिसाब से अगर आप देखें तो दे आर इन हायर लैटिट्यूड्स. So hot deserts especially are caused by this subtropical high pressure belts because of their location, because winds are always descending there. And if there is any condition of rise up of air due to convection, that will be hindered by those descending winds, because ऊपर से जो winds आ रहे हैं they are in force. वो तो पूरी की पूरी बेल्ट है ना, ये तो सारे के सारे winds आके ऐसे गिर रहे हैं. तो अगर थोड़ा बहुत कोई विंड उठना भी चाहेगा, they will not allow it. कोई विंड का एक छोटा सा पार्ट है दैट बिकम्स वार्म एंड दैट वो कन्वेक्शन में होने लगा, उठने लगा, लेकिन ऊपर से पूरा का पूरा मास ऑफ एयर है दैट इज कमिंग डाउन बिकॉज इट इज सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई प्रेशर बेल्ट. दैट इज व्हाई देयर लोकेशन इज लाइक दैट, बिकॉज ऑफ देयर लैटिट्यूडिनल लोकेशन दे आर सच दैट, राइट. तो इसलिए मैं इस पर थोड़ा जोर दे रहा हूं कि दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड एंड अगेन आप इसको भूल जाते हो. नहीं, इसको भूलना नहीं है. So, to understood two types of deserts: hot deserts in subtropical high pressure belts and cold deserts in mid latitude parts. So, those are called mid latitude deserts, and they are caused by their interior location. Those mid latitude deserts are caused by their interior location. क्योंकि वो कॉन्टिनेंट के इतने इंटीरियर पार्ट में है कि जहां तक जाते जाते winds become dry and there is no condition of much rainfall. There are third type of deserts also, coastal deserts. You can write down that also, क्योंकि deserts की बात हो रही है, साथ में वो भी लिखो. Coastal deserts. Coastal deserts are mainly caused by the cold currents. They are mainly affected by cold currents. Cold currents क्या करते हैं कि वहां के पूरे एटमॉस्फेयर को ड्राई कर देते हैं. They have a desiccating effect. They have a desiccating effect. Means वो ड्राई कर देते हैं वहां के एटमॉस्फेयर को. कोल्ड करंट्स, desiccation. So because of that desiccating effect, some of the coastal lands they become dry. In American part there is a desert known as Mojave. It is also known as Mojave desert. Mojave or Mojave. इससे जो adjoining part है that is Sonoran. It is in USA. Mojave Sonoran desert. This is a type of coastal desert found nearby the coast of California. It is due to the effect of the cold Californian current. Cold Californian current. In the adjoining part of Californian coast, this small desert is found. आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे मूवीज में दिखाया जाता है. यहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ा सा एक कैक्टस, कभी देखा होगा मूवीज में या में किसी भी इमेज में, बड़ा सा कैक्टस, खूब, मतलब कैक्टस जस्ट लाइक अ ट्री, ह्यूमन से भी बड़ा, बड़े बड़े से कैक्टस उस रीजन में दिखते हैं. दे आर नोन एज सगुआरो कैक्टस. सगुआरो कैक्टस. और वो जो टकीला का शॉट लगाते हैं, कहां से बनती है टकीला? दैट पर्टिकुलर वैरायटी ऑफ लिकर, टकीला इज मेड बाय सगुआरो कैक्टस. उसके फर्मेंटेशन से बनती है मोस्टली. वो जो टेक्निकल नेम है टकीला का, दैट कम्स फ्रॉम सगुआरो कैक्टस. सॉन्ग है ना वो टकीला शॉट, इसी से आया. ठीक है, तो इन सारी चीजों को कनेक्ट करो. किसको? टकीला को, सगुआरो कैक्टस को. ठीक है, सो मोहावे डेजर्ट को, दैट इज अ कोल्ड डेजर्ट. ये भी एक टाइप का कोल्ड डेजर्ट है इन कोस्टल पार्ट. एंड कौन सा रीजन है वो जो है जहां पर एक बड़ा फेमस वहां पे वो भी है, शहर है, एक शहर है वहां पे जहां पे गैम्बलिंग और वो सब होता है. लॉस वेगस. लॉस वेगस है ना. तो ये सब वही रीजन. लॉस वेगस के मतलब पास ही है जो मोहावे सोनोरान डेजर्ट वाला जो पार्ट है, इट इज नियर बाई लॉस वेगस. लॉस वेगस वाज एन एम्प्टी लैंड अर्लियर, पूरा एकदम खाली जमीन थी. एक इंसान ने एक बार सोचा कि यहाँ पर एक शहर बसाया जा सकता है, ठीक है, खाली जमीन में. बहुत बड़ी बात थी कि कोई सोच ले कि खाली जमीन पड़ी हुई है, यहाँ पे एक शहर बसाया जा सकता है. और बहुत सारे वहां पे रूल काम नहीं करेंगे जो नॉर्मली बाकी शहरों में काम करते हैं. दैट इज वाई वो धीरे धीरे करके वहां पे गैम्बलर्स पे कंसंट्रेशन करने लगा वो. और वो गैम्बलिंग का एक तरीके से पूरा हॉटस्पॉट बन गया. फिर वो सारे गैम्बलर और वो सारे जो भी वो पूरा वहां पे काउबॉयज और ये सब, मतलब एक अलग डिफरेंट कल्चर ही है पूरे रीजन का, है ना. काउबॉयज भी दिखाए जाते हैं, वो सारा उसी रीजन की बात है. वो एक काउबॉय हैट लगा के आते हैं, समझ रहे हैं. तो वो सारा एक अलग ही पूरा है, मतलब दुनिया ही अलग है. यार पानी नहीं है इधर थोड़ा सा.
Introducing the Prelims Target course and Prelims test series at ProdEgyIAS. Designed for UPSC Prelims 2026, this comprehensive program offers in-depth classes on history, geography, science and tech, environment, polity and governance, and economy. Stay updated with current affairs and sharpen your skills with our Prelims test series consisting of 50 full-length tests covering all subjects along with CSAT. Join ProdEgyIAS and stay ahead.